Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav,
And I'm Harmit.
And I'm Christina.
and this is a Game of Thrones, Chapter 16, Eddard. In this chapter, Sansa's wolf is a lady, but Queen Cersei is a real bitch. It's got layers.
I love that. That's so cute.
I don't know if that was as good as it was in my head, but I like it.
I enjoyed that more than our last couple where we just said random things.
Yeah, because it's hard to think of these things that are clever
sure.
or punny. I like
sure.
puns, so. Okay, welcome to the podcast, everyone, and specifically, Christina, your first time here. How does it feel?
It feels great. I'm so excited. I love Game of Thrones, and it was really exciting to go back to the beginning and have some, what I consider to be precious memories.
Tell us about your relationship with this series. How did you come upon it?
Yeah, so I was introduced to A Game of Thrones and the whole A Song of Ice and Fire series when I was in college. My roommate Courtney was obsessed with them, and I was like, "What the heck even are these things? What even is this story? It seems really crazy." And it was on HBO, which at the time I was like, HBO is for grown up drama crazy stuff. Which, that is what A Game of Thrones is. So, but I was like, well, before I watch the show, obviously I have to read the books because I've always been
you did the smart thing.
Yeah.
And so when I was in college, I worked summers as a lifeguard at pools that no one ever went to. So I had 12 hours a day of just sitting in the sun and reading. Otherwise, I don't think I could have gotten through the series, honestly. But I read them all in a summer, and I would read 200 pages of Game of Thrones a day, and I would go home feeling like I'd been cramming for an exam, because there's so much new information all the time. And I just fell in love. And then after that, I watched the show, and I rewatched it again every time a new season came out. And so, the show's fun. The books are fun too, but they're not over yet. So I would love for
if you could just get on with it.
Yeah, can you please just publish the next book?
Oh my God. With this election that just went down, it was so funny, all the memes of people taking a long time and then it would be George R. R. Martin.
Yes.
He is, I don't know, I have kind of just given up on the thought that he might.
I think he just was HBO got this. I don't need to do anything else.
Yeah. I think he and I are very similar in that we're great procrastinators. So I think that's what's happening here. The more somebody expects us to do something, the less we want to do it. And that's probably what's happening with him.
Oh my God.
That's a good point. And I think that when his books became so famous, he was like, oh no, this is too much pressure. I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, when he wasn't so famous, he was doing a great job. He has so many series out there, but he just couldn't finish the famous one.
He keeps making books. For my birthday, I was gifted one of his other books, and when I opened the box, I was like, no! And my dad
don't work on this.
Yeah, my dad was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you'd like it. And I was like, no, I like it. I just wish he was working on the Winds of Winter. Come on.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about his we can talk about the fact that he hasn't finished these books for days and never finished talking about it. But let's get into this chapter. So usually what we do is I get Harmon to do a quick 30 or 60 second summary. This one has one thing happen, so I'm going to give her 30 seconds. Oh, come on. I have to put some pressure on you to get the good stuff.
I say, oh no, every single time. We know this.
Okay. God. All right. Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, cool. So, it's been 4 days since we last saw them, and we found Arya, and they take her to the king, and Ned's like, excuse me, what the fuck are you doing? And then he goes there, and the queen's there, and the king's there, and he's like, oh my god, why didn't you take Arya to me? And it's this whole thing, and now Arya's on trial, and Sansa comes in, and, so, I was right, Joffrey lied, Sansa didn't stick up for her sister, and then, Wolf gets killed, and then Sandor Clegane is just scary, yeah.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Well done.
Me trying to just... Oh, no. It's okay.
No, it was good. Can you see the recording part where you get excited and so loud?
Oh, I don't see that. Maybe it already passed. No, maybe it's coming up. Because I think my...
Okay.
Yeah. Never mind.
Okay, whatever. It's all good. Good summary. Okay, so Christina, you don't know this because this episode isn't out yet, but the Harmouth was right about the fact that Joffrey would totally lie about this, which was not the hardest thing to predict.
Okay, you know what?
but it is a thing, and we always compare him to Draco Malfoy. And last time you were like, "Oh, it's like when he got hurt by Buckbeak, and he made a big deal out of nothing," which is basically what happened.
Oh my god, that is really funny. There are some serious parallels where it's like, oh my arm. I watched we're just starting Prisoner of Azkaban on my podcast, The Restricted Section, and I was watching the scene where he's in the hospital wing, like crying about his arm, and Madame
Yeah.
Wait, actually, that's from Chamber of Secrets. I'm being stupid. Whatever. There's definitely more than one situation where Draco Malfoy is crying about
true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Both him and Joffrey are like, oh, Draco's like, oh, my father's gonna hear about this. Joffrey's always like, my mother's gonna hear about this. Yeah. So they are both little pieces of shit that
is very true.
Very bratty kids.
Yeah, and they're both just so punchable. Like I would.
Oh that is such a good way to describe them. Yes,
they're both so punchable.
My god. And the guy who plays him in the show does a good job of being that as well. So.
Yeah, totally. And I've heard that guy's like the nicest person in real life, and he would like apologize after scenes where he had to get really brutal.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, well, that's like a mark of good acting, I guess, because he can put aside his actual personality.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, let's get into this chapter. So when we go back in, like Harmouth said, it's been 4 days since Arya has been gone, and you know, the first sentence is, "Oh, Lord, my lord, she's been found," or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, bring her to me. You know, let's get this done with." And of course, what happens is that the Lannister guards are at the gates. So instead of taking her to Ned, they take her to the king and the queen. And Ned is not happy about this. He has barely slept in days, and now he has to deal with this bullshit.
I love the phrase that Martin uses. Now his fury was on him, filling him with strength.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because it takes a lot to get Ned Stark like really, really mad, and so I love to see it.
Yeah, definitely. Only a Lannister could achieve that great feat,
right?
Yeah, he is not happy, and as he was walking across the yard, he's thinking about, you know, now they're in this castle, they've left the inn, and they're in Sir Raymond Derry's castle. Now, Harmouth, do you recognize this name, Derry?
Yeah, definitely.
This is one of those minor details. No. Oh, come on. No. Think hard. Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, let's talk about Sir Raymond Derry. His family fought on the side of the Targaryens in Robert's rebellion, and now, you know, he lives under the king's peace, as Ned says, but he's not very happy about it.
Yeah, for
and if you remember Sir Willem Derry, that was the guy who took care of Daenerys and Viserys when they fled.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so little connection there. This is definitely one of those details that doesn't really matter, but I really like pointing things out.
Oh,
like
that's
this.
Cool. That's cool. So then it just further intensifies their like kind of loyalty, but not really loyalty. Like,
yeah, like cool. If given the chance, they would totally not want to be here with this king.
It's crazy. It's so crazy for me to remember that like that Robert's rebellion was like so recent in terms of like the history of Westeros, and it's like when things like this come up, I'm like, oh, tensions are still kind of high.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, if you think about, like, just for example, like the American Civil War was like 140 years ago or whatever, and like tensions are still kind of high, and it's like Robert's rebellion was like 15 or 20 years ago, and it's just like people are still mad about it.
Oh, definitely.
This is, definitely a look into, because we've seen Daenerys's POV, which is, she's obviously not happy with Robert being the king, but we've seen the Starks who are on his side. So this is definitely a new perspective. And, there's like 500 of these people just crammed into this little castle, and Sir Raymond is not happy about it, and the king's not happy about it, and nobody's really happy about it. They just want to get the move on, but they hadn't found Arya yet, so
yes.
Anyway, okay, Harmouth, you do some of the summarizing.
Okay, so then Ned's like, okay, I'm angry, let's go. So then he goes to the audience chamber, and there we see the queen, the king, Joffrey by the queen's side as per usual, and then there's like Lannister people there. There's like Jory, who we like there, and then there's like and then Sir Derry's also there, I believe. I'm not sure if that's
Sir who?
Sir Derry, like Raymond Derry.
Oh, Derry. Yeah, Raymond.
Yeah.
Sir Raymond.
Oh, okay. I always called him by the wrong name.
Well, I don't know. For some reason, when it's a knight, you say Sir plus first name instead of last name.
Oh, wait.
And then when it's a lord, you say last name and not first name.
Oh, I think you've told me that, but definitely
that's right, Christina, right?
That's true, and that kind of like tradition comes from the like English way of doing things, where, for example, a lord would get given a property like York, right, or like a territory like York, and so he would be like the Duke of York, and then that would like be his last name. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that does make okay, cool. I see.
That's
so
interesting.
he's like the Lord of Derry and like the Derry line.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense, because otherwise I'd be calling him by a place.
Well, I don't think the place is called Derry, but that is like most of the way that this government structure in Game of Thrones is like based on like the old English way of
the feudal system and
exactly.
All of that. Yes, okay. So anyway, Sir Raymond's there. He's, Ned is like, okay, there's not many friendly faces. There's Sir Raymond, who is okay. And then there's Sir Barristan, and Renly's there, who's like, he's got some style on his face.
I love
Sorry,
Renly.
say that again?
I love all these characters so much. I love Renly so much.
I know, like, he kind of like fades to the background in my mind of the whole series, but I liked him in this. He was fun.
Oh, definitely. Call-outs. Oh my god.
And literally every character who's just on the sidelines right now does more later,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So they get to the audience chamber. It's just too crowded, because Ned's thinking, if it's just me and Robert, we could hash it out in person and just deal with it. Now he's gonna have to deal with the opinions of everybody else in the chamber.
Yeah, for sure.
So
specifically Queen.
Cersei.
Yes, that is the correct
she
sentence.
does not come off as a good character in this.
Yeah.
Okay,
for sure.
We'll talk about that in a second. Let's get in. What is it that's happening?
We find out Joffrey has lied about what happened. And Joffrey and Arya kind of like going off, and then King is like, okay, shut up, Arya, tell your story. And then Arya tells her story. We know Arya's story. And when she starts talking about like the lion tooth and the sword, Renly starts laughing, which was
the best moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I love him. He's just like, you are a ridiculous creature, dude.
And I love that he doesn't even like. He's not like I get that. Like a lot of these people who are like brothers and sisters, like I feel like they don't really act like brothers and sisters, but I feel like his thing, like that just makes sense. Like I feel like you'd laugh at your nephew, So he kind of like acts like what I envision he should. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, he gives it. Sorry, go ahead.
He's not one for like propriety and like
formality. For sure, which I love.
Yeah. He keeps it real.
Yes.
So, yeah. I enjoyed this moment with him. I was sad when he's asked to leave the room, but
Yes.
um
And then Joffrey tells his side of the story, which was false. In his version, he was like, they like
they attacked me with
yeah,
clubs.
yeah. I was like, buddy, okay, yes, like they got clubs out of somewhere.
Yeah, last I remember there were broom handles and you were
Yeah.
attacking them with a freaking sword, but
Yeah,
you know,
and
we'll
you
just
could have
say clubs.
yeah, exactly. Like you were the one who decided to get yourself involved. But whatever, it's fine. And
Total Draco Malfoy move.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Ned's kind of smart. He's like, oh, he's not even looking at Arya when he's saying that, and he's making all these like little like moments, and then he's like, he was like, oh, I like Sansa, come over here. What was he was
You
like,
know,
oh,
we have
you weren't the only ones there.
eyewitnesses.
Yeah, he was like, you weren't the only ones there. And then Sansa comes in, and she says she doesn't remember because everything happened so fast. And at this point, I wasn't even mad at Arya. I was just like, because then Arya goes and tackles.
Wait, Arya.
Sorry?
Oh, when she tackles Sansa, you're not mad about that?
I honestly,
it is
I wasn't even mad.
frustrating.
I wasn't even mad. I was like, you know what? Like, you're extremely impulsive, but in this moment, I will give it to you.
You know, Sansa overall in the series she's people do not like her, especially, you know, as she is right now.
Yeah.
And this is one of those moments which really makes you not like her. But then I was thinking about it, and if you think about it, she's getting married to this dickhead.
She's
asshole.
in a terrible position right now.
Yeah, like
And,
if
like,
she tells the truth, she's gonna be, you know, in the doghouse.
Yeah, and it's like it goes back to Ned saying like there's way too many people here, because if Ned had the opportunity to take Sansa aside one-on-one and say like, tell me what really happened, she probably would have told the truth in that.
Well, apparently
did happen, right?
she's heard her version.
Yeah,
that happened earlier,
Yeah.
like the night that Arya disappeared.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Ned knows that
just-
sorry, Ned knows that her story will back up Arya's, but when it comes to like telling it in front of everyone, you know, her fiance is there, her possible, you know, in-laws are there, and now she has to pick between, you know, being on their bad side and having to deal with that her whole life, or just, you know, kind of not saying much on behalf of her sister. So I get it, you know, she's actually kind of being smart here because she's saving herself, which is fine, but it just doesn't end in the best thing.
People give Sansa a lot of shit, and I definitely understand why. She, especially in this first book, has a lot of growth to do, and she does it. She does some growth. But she out of all the Starks, I think she's the only one who knows how to play the Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? She's the only one who understands.
She's like
that
diplomatic. She knows.
To the point of like sometimes being duplicitous, because she knows that you just can't always be straightforward. You can't always do what the right thing
Ned's
is.
like, tell it how it is, and that's pretty much all the Starks. But she's like, oh, but you gotta be careful about what you say because these people are so and so and whatever.
And
so she is.
I think part of the growth that is like yet to come for Sansa is that in this chapter, it doesn't occur to her that being duplicitous in this moment is going to affect her. I think she thinks if anything, it's going to affect Arya. Yeah, and so I think that she's immature, and if she had understood that her own direwolf was at risk in this chapter, she would have perhaps acted differently.
Yeah, and you know, everybody loves Arya because she's the rebellious, she goes against the flow. But Sansa's like, you know, she does what she's been taught her entire life. She is, you know, she is exactly who she's supposed to be, which is a valid way of being. It just isn't as fun as Arya and her rebellion.
And I think if Arya had been born first, she would have had a lot more responsibility thrust upon her shoulders.
That's true.
She might have been the one who got engaged to Joffrey.
Ugh.
Yeah, how about that? Joffrey would have hated that.
Oh, I would have. Arya would have hated that.
Everyone would have hated that.
Where Sansa's like all about, you know, we were talking last chapter where it was Sansa's chapter, and she was like, "Oh, he's so pretty, he's perfect," and like she's very much on the surface what she cares about is more on what's on the surface, as opposed to Arya. She cares about, at this point it seems like she cares more about what people's actions and personality are.
Yeah.
But Sansa's kind of happy with this marriage possibility because she likes that he's handsome and whatever. I don't know how much she likes him after this chapter, but up to this point she did. Okay, so Arya tackles Sansa, and they, they pull them off each other, and Robert's like, they're kids, let's move on. But Cersei is out for revenge, I guess, or whatever. She's like, my kid or your son will have scars for the rest of his life, and
Robert's like, good.
Yeah, like let him remember his idiocity.
Yeah. It's weird. Basically. It's weird to think that Robert like has the most brain out of his family like in this chapter. Like I don't know, because I just don't like as of right now. I kind of see him as like an unfit king. So in my mind, like seeing this chapter, I was like, whoa, okay, brains, good job.
Yeah, but he still didn't do the right thing.
Well,
in this,
yes, that is
like
true.
In this whole deal, Joffrey's got to protect himself. Whatever, he's a shithead. We know. Cersei's got to protect her son because her son, and Arya and Sansa have to do their own thing. But King Robert is the freaking king. He can, I'm jumping ahead, but Ned pleads to him, is like, just don't do this. When he's
literally like, for the sake of my dead sister.
Yeah, like just don't do this. But he doesn't. He's
the
like a
dead
coward.
Sister card, dude.
Right? I was like, that is the ultimate card. Like, if he doesn't listen to that, I don't know what's gonna work.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for Robert. He just like, okay, I think people just like don't give kings enough credit for like the positions they're in. Okay, like kings are all powerful, okay, and they can do whatever they want, but they're still really beholden by like the society and the culture of like the court that they're in. And I think a good example of this is King Henry VIII, and everyone's like, he murdered his wives, dude. But it's like, he existed in this court system where people are perceiving his wives as being like treasonous, and the punishment for treason is beheading. So it's like, he kind of did what he was supposed to do as king. And Robert is like, he has the power to do whatever he wants to, but if Cersei is like running her mouth about how shitty of a king he is, that makes him look really bad. So he's just trying to like keep a grip.
That don't take it out on other people. Take it out on her, or not take it out on her, but like deal with her. Okay.
I just wish she would shut up, but she doesn't shut up for so many more books.
Yeah, she's taunting him.
Oh, you're telling me she's not someone who just dies at the end of this book?
Wouldn't
That's
that be
lovely.
Oh,
that would be lovely.
You expect too much, Herman.
I like happy endings. I'm definitely gonna be very.
Wow, you have embarked upon the wrong book.
I was thinking when I was reading this chapter. Okay, when I was reading this chapter, I was like, oh, this is kind of our first real taste of how much of a shit show the rest of this book series is, because it's so nice at Winterfell with the Starks, and it's just like really cozy. And even when things are happening, kids are getting thrown out of windows and stuff, like that's tough. But like,
just like people are getting beheaded.
Yeah,
it's just a thing that happens.
Shit happens, but like this chapter is like the stress that you feel in this chapter, watching these people scream at each other and knowing everyone's like intentions, and just like how unfair it feels at the end. That's like the whole rest of this book series.
Oh, no.
Okay, don't scare her away. I've barely held her onto this series.
That's lovely.
Okay, Harmon, I promise it's I can't say it's worth it because the books are not out yet. It would be worth it if all the books were out, I feel like.
They're really good to read, okay? And there's a lot of really victorious moments also.
All right.
Yes. Yes.
But it's just kind of like there's no discerning between like good and evil. It's like everyone gets the same, you know what I'm saying?
Treatment.
Yeah. The same treatment.
For sure. Everyone's a shithead.
Yeah, in the end, basically.
They just,
All right.
I don't know why that's the swear word that I've chosen to use.
Because it's about Joffrey, and Joffrey's such a shithead.
Yes. I don't know. It's just like, oh, I hate this kid. Okay, moving on. So, Robert's trying to play it off like, whatever, we'll deal with it. You discipline your kids, I'll discipline mine. The end. But Cersei all of a sudden is like, what of the direwolf, the beast that savaged your kid? And they're like, oh, Nymeria wasn't found, she's nowhere to be found, what are we gonna do? And the Cersei's like, well, if the king I married was really you or whatever, he would have put the pelt of that wolf on my bed by the end of the night or whatever. And Robert's like, well, we don't have a wolf. And then Cersei says the most hated line in this chapter probably, which is, there is a wolf, another one. And everybody just kind of like, it takes them a second to understand what she's saying.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose because, Robert's like, okay, fine, have Sir Ilyn do it and get Sansa a dog because, because dogs are better than wolves. Not. But okay, now I'm just summarizing what I just lost my train of thought. And Arya and Sansa are protesting because Lady didn't do anything, and Ned does a thing where he's like, for my sake, for the sake of my dead sister, do this. Or don't do this, rather.
And then Ned's like, do it yourself then. And I was like, oh my god. And that was just kind of another thing of like, think about if this had happened. It just made me think, like, think about if this had happened in Winterfell, where if it did get to well, even here, Ned did it himself, but like in Winterfell especially, like Ned would like do all
this is the tradition
himself.
Of the North.
Yeah. But I don't know.
The man who passes the sentence must also swing the sword. That's what his like whole philosophy is.
Yes.
But here it is. Robert does not care.
You know what? The queen should kill the wolf. She should see the wolf.
Oh, she's not happy to. Are you kidding me?
She is not strong enough to behead a wolf. Okay.
Okay, she can't be. But like, if somebody was like, "Oh, here's a knife," just do it if you like. I think if she given the opportunity, she would love to hurt that wolf because she is just kind of that person.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I feel like it would definitely. Well, I think she'd still do it for sure, but I don't know. I don't think it would be as easy as we think it would be. Maybe I'm just thinking too much of her.
Okay, well, physically, maybe she can't like wield a sword the size of ice, but I think she would like to.
I wonder if like. Okay, so it seems kind of like this is all in the heat of the moment. Like Cersei's like, just murder a wolf. I don't care who it is.
Just save my reputation.
But I wonder if this is like part of Cersei's plan, knowing that she's taking Sansa back to the capital to become her daughter-in-law. I wonder if she's like, this wolf
can't have a wolf around.
Yeah, like this wolf will upset our power balance. And if she has a wolf, then she always has like the upper hand on me. So I wonder if it's like Cersei's like, Sansa's wolf needs to go, basically.
Yeah, like killing two birds with one stone. Just yeah.
That's true. Because like, those wolves are, protection for the kids.
Yeah,
and
they will murder you.
Exactly. And, if Cersei wants to manipulate Sansa, it may not be as easy with a wolf there. So, this definitely worked out for her. So Ned's like, okay, fine. I will do it because everybody else here is a dickhead.
Yes. Pop off.
And, Sansa looks at him like, what the hell? Why are you saying that? And he says, she's of the North. She deserves better than a butcher. And then he goes.
Ned is literally the only person I like right now.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me he's the only person. Okay, he's like at this specific moment, he's the only one I like right now.
Definitely
okay,
the only
not
adult.
Arya or you liked Caitlyn the last time.
I don't know, man. Right? Well, Ned's the only one I wholeheartedly like. The other ones I'm like, okay. I like them.
My friend says that Ned Stark is the only man who never disappointed her.
Oh, that's great. Because I was like, I swear, if he suddenly like goes rogue in the second chapter, that's not gonna be fun. Second book.
He's just so good. We'll see if he goes rogue in the second book.
But yes. Yeah, he's like just, all the honor and the goodness and whatever, he embodies all of that.
Yeah.
If the Lannisters or whatever are the evil in this, he's the good in this. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think the Starks are true neutral, you know what I mean? Or like maybe neutral good, where they just or like really lawful, I think is actually what I meant to say. They're like very lawful in like all that they do.
Yeah.
And I think that the freaking Baratheon Lannisters are like so chaotic, and I think that's like the root of their like misunderstanding with each other. Ned Stark never would have sentenced to death a creature that like didn't do anything wrong, you know?
Yeah. But he's got an honor code and he follows it.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. I think that's why he's so likable, is because his behavior is predictable, and you know that he's always going to do the right thing, almost to a fault, you know?
Yeah. And he's not driven by power thirst or anything. Like, even when they were like, oh, be the hand, he wasn't like, oh my god, I'm gonna be the hand. He was like, oh, this is like a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, he's like, I have a family, I'm kind of busy.
Yeah. Literally.
I have better things to do than be the second most powerful man in the kingdom.
But arguably, like, those are the people who should have power.
Yeah,
the people who are like,
that's
I don't
true.
want this. But people like Joffrey, who are like, give me all the power. It's
oh my god.
I was thinking about this while I read the chapter. I know the last time we saw Ed, like, Robert was having
Ned.
Ned. Robert was having this like emo moment of like, I just wanted the girl. I didn't want the power. Do you know, like, that was literally his entire moment. Like, I don't know if I know this and I'm completely forgetting, but like, do we know why like Robert became king? Like, or do we not know that?
Yes.
It was his rebellion, but also it was, okay, you don't specifically know this, but he also has some like Targaryen lineage, so he had like a quote unquote claim of some kind.
Well, and also like he wanted the king's. Do we know this already? Am I spoiling anything? We know that, right? Because of the sister.
Yeah,
the king's what?
He wanted the king's girl, right? We know that already, right? Am I spoiling anything?
Hold on, king's girl?
No. Okay. He wanted Ned's sister.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He wanted Ned's sister, which was.
But you mean like
right?
You mean Rhaegar was? He's the one who kidnapped and raped her, right? So is that what you're talking about?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so the prince, he wasn't the king.
Okay, I'm getting things a little bit confused.
That's why I was like, wait, what? The king, he had a girl.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, for Robert to get his girl, he had to commit treason. Right?
But it was technically Rhaegar who kidnapped her.
But that is still treason. If you're like taking a woman from like a royalty, that's treason.
Oh, I guess.
And so if he wanted the woman in order to not be in trouble for that, he had to become the king, basically.
Oh.
You feel me?
That's true.
Oh, okay.
I think he just was. I literally feel like Robert just was like accidentally. He was like, "Oh shit,
yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I gotta become the king." He didn't realize
that waging a war would mean that he would become king.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Robert's just such a fuckboy. Like I don't want to give him. I don't want to give him too much credit for anything. I think he was like, "I want my woman back," and then he was like, "Shit, now I'm in way over my head."
Oh my god,
yeah,
so funny.
But the point is that, now he's supposedly brought Ned along to, help bear that burden. But, last Ned chapter, they were talking about how Daenerys got married and how he wants to have her killed and also like he wants to make Jaime Lannister the Warden of the East or whatever. And Ned's like, those are all terrible ideas. But he just didn't listen to him. So, in the end, Robert's going to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So what's the point of bringing on this smart guy on your side if you're just going to be an idiot? So,
that's true. Yeah, I think that Robert just really wants someone who won't make his life two-parter, you know what I mean? I think he has like Cersei who hates him, and he has like Cersei's whole family, and he has like all this shit and all these
He
responsibilities.
could make Cersei the hand and like just kind of retire from kingdom.
Yeah.
Okay, but like also, definitely don't want that.
What do?
I think it just
Don't
pains
want
her
them to.
too much.
I know she's like a she's vicious and not the kindest person. We've seen that today, but
It is interesting to think about like how would this go different if he was just like, whatever, Cersei, you can be king. Like if she would just be like, oh shit, okay, all right.
Well, the kingdom would probably fall apart because I don't know, she would just be like, oh, that person put that table there and I stubbed my toe, so kill them. Or I don't know, just for random things, or I don't know. That's what I get from this chapter, is what her demeanor would be like.
A little bit
if
of
she
like
had all that power.
A little bit like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay. So wait, let's okay, where were we? I have
Sorry, I always derail a conversation.
Oh no. It's good because we talked about some really good stuff. But Ned goes and finds Lady, and he's thinking about, Lady's such a good name because she's gentle and kind, and
he says Sansa picked the best one.
Did she?
That's what he says. He's like, Sansa picked well. She picked.
Oh, the name. He's talking about the name. Okay. Yeah, because he's like, I never never paid attention to what the kids named their wolves, but Lady is a good name for this one.
Okay.
And he does the deed. We don't have to hear any description of it, thank God.
Yeah,
and
all we get is when it was over.
Yeah,
but like the ending.
And so then he calls over Jory, and he's like, have 4 men take the body to bury at Winterfell. The Lannister woman shall never have this skin. Which
That's
I was like,
smart.
yes, thank you.
Yeah. She would.
Oh
she obviously would. Yeah.
She would wear it in front of Ned Stark every single day that she could.
Yeah, she would wear it in front of Sansa and then be like, "Oh, sweetie, you just don't understand."
Literally. Oh my god. She'd be like, "You'll understand once you're the princess," and then
would,
oh
my god,
neutralize her, whatever.
But yeah, okay. So that's it happens, and he's on his way to bed when he notices Sandor Clegane and his party ride in. They've been out hunting for Arya as well. I say hunting because that's literally what they were doing. They were not looking. And he's got a body on the back of his horse, and he throws it on the ground and is like, we got her little pet. And Ned's all of a sudden like, oh my god, not Nymeria. And then he looks, and it's Micah, the butcher's boy.
So sad, dude.
See,
oh my god.
I remember last chapter, I was like, oh, they're gonna blame everything on Micah and then kill him. But they didn't even give him that. They just killed him.
Yeah, like he like doesn't even matter.
Like that's
I mean, it's it's
like if Arya had been anyone else, right? Like that's awful, man. That's sad.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask is do you think that if Sandor Clegane had found Arya, do you think he would have killed her?
Well, no. I don't think he would have killed Arya, no.
Okay.
Because that would have...
It's gonna be pretty cool.
Like, I feel like, okay, he'd definitely want to, and I don't think he would be like, hey, Arya, come with... Like, I don't think he would be nice. But I don't think that he would kill her. I don't think that he could. Like, I think he'd be worried about the consequences, right?
Yeah, it would cause a lot of trouble for the king. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but he definitely wouldn't have been, like, nice at all.
Yeah, and if he had found...
Oh my gosh, we've been so worried about you.
Yeah, no, he was gonna be like, girl, get over here. Get on this horse. We're going.
He would probably just grab her and not even talk to her, just, like, tie her up or put her in a bag or something.
Oh my god, put her in a bag.
Probably.
Oh my god.
And if he had come upon Nymeria, he probably would have killed her too.
So. Oh, definitely.
On one hand, I'm glad that Nymeria's not dead, as far as I know, but also Micah did not deserve to die.
Yeah.
And, it's probably the same for Arya. She loved them both, so...
Yeah, that's true.
I feel sad for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and for Micah.
Yes.
Sorry, say that again?
And for Micah. He did, like,
is that for Micah?
Out of everyone in this situation, I feel like he's, like, the least responsible.
Yeah.
He got the most murdered.
I know, because Arya was Arya was the one who asked him to play with her or practice with
and
her,
like
and
even
then
after, all he did was run away. He didn't even like he didn't incite anything. He was like, dude, she asked me to play. Like he didn't and I'm not saying like instigating someone is reason for death, but I'm just saying like he didn't even instigate anyone. Like he didn't do anything.
Yeah,
'cause
Arya was the one that hit Joffrey in the back of his head.
Yes.
Like he deserved.
I think Micah really understands the power dynamic. He's like, oh shit, this is a prince and I'm nobody and I'm for sure gonna get in trouble here.
Yeah.
Whereas Arya, coming from Winterfell, it's like she's always been like a scrappy, she's never been like, you know what I mean? Like the royalty, the class divide.
Yeah,
is
to
not as
her
real
everyone
for
is the
her.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Micah was probably like, oh, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she does stop short in the last chapter of killing Joffrey, which, you know, would have made her
Probably
life easier,
should've
but
just killed
would have
him.
made her life harder.
Yes. That might have gotten her beheaded for killing the prince.
True. That's treason for sure.
Yeah.
Harmut, I have a question for you.
Okay.
How do you think this is gonna impact like all the events of this chapter are gonna impact the relationship between Arya and Sansa?
Arya and Sansa. Okay, well they already aren't like, oh my god, my sister, you know? Like they're already not like, so
Best friends.
Yeah, they're definitely not best friends. So I'm definitely worried for their relationship. But I think maybe like the actually no. I was gonna say like, oh, like maybe like Lady being dead and then like Micah being dead, they can be like, oh my god, like dead people that we love. But then I was like, no, they're just gonna be mad at each other further, you know? Like it won't be. So I don't know. Like
you got my wolf killed, you got my friend killed.
Yeah, like it's not. She's gonna be like, you didn't stand up for me. You're my sister. She's gonna be like, yeah, well, my wolf got killed too. You're not the only one with problems. Like it's just gonna be. She's gonna be like, you. Sansa's gonna be like, you always ruin everything, and Arya's gonna be like, wow, you're not even my sister. Like it's just gonna be this whole thing. I don't even know if they're even gonna confront each other. Like I feel like they'll just ignore each other. Maybe actually no, but Arya's pretty crazy. She might like. I feel like they might just ignore each other for a bit, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. I didn't mean it to go that long. But do you think Sansa's gonna be all cool with Joffrey now? He was mean to her, you know, last chapter, and he was...
I don't think she's gonna... See, that's interesting. I feel like there's a lot of different ways that could go, you know? I feel like I don't know her well enough to know, like... But what I'm thinking might happen is I think she'll, like... I don't think this experience is going to make her be like, I don't want to marry him, you know? But I think it'll definitely be a little bit of a like maybe she'll be like more scared around him, or like she won't be as like, oh my god, my dreamy prince, you know?
Also,
like,
even if she decides she doesn't want to marry him, like what?
It's not like she can do anything about it.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like even like she knows that being the princess is a big deal, so I feel like she wouldn't be like, oh, I don't want, like I don't think she's ever gonna be like, oh, I don't want to. But
okay,
and there's definitely some like just like gender roles stuff going on here, where like I think to some extent women in this setting are like, oh yeah, like men are aggressive and they're in charge, and the woman's job is to like be complicit to their work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
for
so
sure.
I think she's like.
In which way? Cersei's actually defying those norms.
Yeah,
so good for her on that note, but you know, at the same time, she's not. yeah.
Cersei's like a character that I like really enjoy, but like I also hate her guts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
Her pride grows with each passing year.
That's true. You don't even know, Harmut. You don't even know.
Yep.
Oh no, it's gonna get worse.
Oh gosh.
It all gets worse. Everything gets worse.
Again, don't discourage her. She's barely holding on.
It's like literally so much fun to read though, so just strap in.
It's definitely so much fun to read, listen, or you know, I get to watch you struggle with it as all the plot points come up. But you know, this is kind of a turning point in the books, which is why it was a great chapter to have Christina with us, because now we have this tension between the Lannisters and the Baratheons and the Starks that wasn't really there before, and has the potential to shape everything else that happens from now on.
Yeah.
So
and then also, sorry.
I think that the way you phrased that is really good. Tension between the Lannisters and the Baratheons and the Starks, because there's definitely tension between the Lannisters and the Baratheons too.
Yeah.
Between
Because
Cersei and
Robert
Robert.
seems to hate Cersei's guts,
Yeah,
but,
and
you
then-
know, she's his wife or whatever. He
Yeah.
can't really do much about it.
And then also Renly just
Oh,
laughing.
Renly is the true king of this chapter. That was funny. Oh my god.
Yes, Renly's the true king of this chapter.
Comic relief we didn't know we needed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
The best part about this
like,
chapter,
also,
definitely.
like, it's like there's like so many things, like with all the different like levels of tension, there's different things that could literally unravel every single part of that. Like with the Cersei and King Robert, it's like if anybody found out about Jaime and Cersei, like that whole thing. And then with the Lannisters and the Starks, like with the who's that guy that died? Oh, John Arryn. And then also with like the whole Bran thing, which like they're definitely gonna find out soon. Like there's just so many things that are like hinging on nobody finding out. So
yeah,
I don't know how that's gonna go.
But the thing with Cersei and Jaime is like I really think that Joffrey inherited his ability to just so shamelessly lie from his mom, and I think that like unless like a lot of people like bore witness to Cersei and Jaime together, it would be so hard for them to convince anyone because
they're like really good at lying.
Yeah, and she gets what she wants. And
it's the Lannister trade or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy how good, like, Joffrey I think Joffrey truly is the kind of person who, when he lies, he's convincing himself at the same time. You know what I mean? I think because he's like such a narcissist. He's like, this is obviously what happened because I could never.
Yeah, I totally didn't. I wasn't totally the person who attacked them. They were the ones who attacked me. Yeah, that's true. He seems like he convinces himself. So depending on how good a liar they are, they might, I don't know, they would need proof, which is, you know, the whole thing with they can't accuse them of trying to kill Bran or Jon Arryn unless they have proof.
Right.
And that might be hard to acquire depending on what goes on.
Just take a picture with your smartphone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, Bran should have done that. Don't know
why didn't they just do that?
Bran climbing the walls of Winterfell with a GoPro on his forehead.
That would have been so good.
Oh my god. That's funny. GoPro smashes on their forehead. Oh my god.
Okay, so we kind of did predictions. Let's have you turn the chapter and see what's next.
Ooh, oh my god, let's do it. No, I get so my favorite part of this is getting to see what the next chapter is because you don't let me know anything.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Bran! Oh my god! Oh my god! How though?
Whoa! You
he is in a coma the last time. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think he's awake?
Oh my god, wait. Oh no. This is gonna be one of those dumb things where like he's in a coma, but he can still like oh no, he's not gonna wake up. It'll be one of those things that you always see in movies where the person's in the coma, but even though they're in like the coma just means that they can't like move and such, but they can still like I feel like he's still gonna see everything that's going on.
He's gonna see people like walking around him and talking.
Yes, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, that would be terrifying, but they always do that. They always do that in movies. Like
that's how he's gonna be for the rest of the series, just observing.
I don't know, but I just feel like it's too soon for him to wake up. Because then, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's too soon for him to like wake up and be like, "Hi, Mom, I'm alive." Like,
okay,
everything's fine.
So
I'm fine.
Yeah. His role in the series is to sit back and watch and not be able to do anything about it. Okay, got it.
Now, this is one chapter. I'm not saying that he's not going to wake up in his next chapter. I'm just saying right now.
Oh, okay. So just for now. Got it.
Yeah, especially because Catelyn is like still in her pit of despair, right? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, no, she actually there was the attack on Bran, and that kind of shook her out of it, and she's heading to King's Landing.
Wow, great idea.
Oh my god! Imagine if he did wake up, and then she wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
God.
That would be a nightmare. This is all a nightmare. Bran's Bran, he's so little, he was so cool, and then the fall just really threw a wrench in things, didn't it?
I am looking forward to the next chapter, though. It has I won't say what it has, but it is cool.
Yeah, Harmit,
I can't wait to talk about it.
I'm really excited to hear your reaction, Harmit.
Does something happen?
It's just very.
Well,
I think
something
it's not
happens.
Something for sure happens.
Lovely.
There is a plot. There are words in sentences, in paragraphs on the page.
Yeah, and
I can for sure say that.
You're gonna read them, and then you're also gonna have a reaction.
Exactly.
Wouldn't have predicted that.
Okay, well, what else do we do? I've like totally completely lost track of what it is that we do.
Are you gonna play who, what, where, or whatever?
Oh, I don't have any terms today, unless you have a term or two that you want to ask.
You actually just make it up.
Huh?
Like, not make it up.
Okay. So I don't have anything that I can ask her about, but do you have anything that you want to ask her about?
I better not, because I'm not sure. It's hard for me to remember, like, what y'all have read so far.
Right, but usually, like, it's just random, like, terms from the future of the series that, you know, out of context don't really mean anything, but it's fun to have her guess on them.
Oh, okay. How about this? Okay.
I know, sorry to put you on the spot. You don't have to.
No, I got it. Okay, who is... Wait, I need to... Hold on,
who or what?
I'm just gonna make sure that I'm getting this right. I have to Google
it. Okay, make sure you ask who or what. Even though you said who, so she's probably gonna be like, oh, it's a person.
Who is the Blackfish?
The Blackfish?
Oh, that's a good one. Harmit, you might actually remember this from some place.
Oh, cool. I wasn't sure if it had come up yet.
The Blackfish. Can I just make a random guess? Because I don't know what. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know how they all have, like, their sigils and, like, their pets?
Mm-hmm.
maybe the Blackfish is, like, a fun new family that we haven't heard of yet. Like, maybe in, like, one of, like, the free cities or something. I don't know. Like,
that's a good guess.
Family.
And then the Blackfish is, like, their sigil.
Yes.
I like
okay.
That.
Well, the place you would remember this from is we read the appendix because I wanted her to understand the the family thing.
That's so serious.
Yeah, I know. It's nerdy. It's me being a little crazy about everything.
I respect it.
But we read Blackfish and you were like, oh, why is it Blackfish? And I said, we'll find out, but I won't tell you now.
Wait, so I can go to the appendix and look at that.
Probably. But there's a lot of things in that appendix that you probably won't figure it out yet. Are you looking right now?
Yes.
Are you reading the Bantam Books mass market paperback?
Wait.
The blue one?
Yes.
Okay, it's on page 820.
Ooh, okay, thank you.
I just happened to open to the exact right page.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay,
out of 1,000 pages.
Well done.
Oh, Sir Brendan Tully, Knight of the Gate and uncle to the Lady Lisa. Oh, cool.
One of my favorite characters.
Oh my god, cool. Cool.
Yeah. So it's Catelyn and Liza Aaron's uncle, the Blackfish, the Knight of the Gate.
Ooh, cool.
There's so many characters in this. One time my friend and I played, we were in like a 5-hour car ride, and we played a game of like literally just name characters from Game of Thrones, and we went back and forth and we played for like almost all 5 hours because you can just
that's actually a really good idea because there's like 5,000 characters in these
books. It was like right after we had both reread, like I had just read it for the first time and watched the show, and she had like reread it and rewatched the show with me, so it was like so fresh in our memories.
That sounds like such a fun game for a road trip.
I'm pretty sure we named every freaking character, even like the smallest like pages and servants.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh my god, I want to play that game, but Harmit, you got to get through these books before you can play that game.
That's gonna take a while.
Well, Christina, do you want to tell us about your show and everything?
Yeah, thank you so much. So as I said, I'm Christina Kann. I'm the host of the Restricted Section, which is an adults only Harry Potter podcast. And we're just like going through kind of the same chapter by chapter, except for all of us have read the books a bunch of times before, and it's like all spoilers all the time, so maybe it's not the same as this. But we're just really wild and raunchy, and we have a fun time. So you can find that wherever you get your podcasts, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Tina Fontina, or follow me on Instagram at Tia Girl of the World.
Well, great. I 100% endorse this message. I have listened to your podcast, and it is one of the best things, and it's just, I find myself laughing out loud all the time because you guys have such crazy ideas about some of those chapters that you're reading. It's insane. I love it.
Thank you so much. And you're going to be a guest for a chapter of Prisoner of Azkaban in January.
I am.
I'm so
really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to the books in a while, so it's going to be fun jumping in.
Yeah, it's such like a blast from the past.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that, everyone. I don't know. I feel like nobody really listens. Like, I hate my voice when I'm editing, that it's like, oh my god, the fact that people have to listen to this, it's a little...
Oh my
no
God.
one
It's
else,
a little terrible.
No one else hates your voice as much as you do.
That's true. That is 100% true. So I just, I'm like, okay, whatever. At least they get to hear Harmouth make all these crazy predictions. So it's worth it for that.
I've been doing my podcast for about a year now, and I finally just got pretty used to the sound of my own voice, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't hate it anymore. You're fine.
Yeah, I've been recording myself for like several years now, and like last year I was like, hey, you know what? This is what you sound like, and you just deal with it.
There's nothing you can do about it, and other people think it's totally normal.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why it took me so long to get to that point, but it literally, I was just like, you know what? This is what you sound like. There's
my problem is that I'm always screaming, and I'm like, why are you like this? Like, why are you screaming?
I feel that. My voice, I feel, is so high compared to everybody else's, which is it's kind of great because all three of us have very distinct voices, which is going to help people, figure out who's talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I listen to podcasts where it's like siblings and they have really similar voices, and then it's like, wait, which one of you is talking right now?
Yeah,
I need
funny.
labels. But thank you so much for being here. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had
100 times better.
I had so much fun. I love these books, and y'all have like 5,000 more chapters. So please let me know if you want me to come back on for another one.
Yes, we definitely do. I was like trying to figure out which chapter to have you on for this book, and I was like, oh, all the exciting end of the book stuff is about a year away. I don't think that's like enough. We need to get you on sooner. So I was like, oh, this is kind of a interesting event. Let's have your opinions on this. So it was great.
When you emailed me and you were like, I don't know if you've read it, but it's like something with Ned Stark and Sansa's direwolf, and I was like, no.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Because I wasn't sure how spoiled you were, so I was like, that chapter, wink, wink.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so let's wrap this up. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope you enjoyed. You can find our social media and links in the show notes. I won't go into them today, but unless everybody has anything to add? No?
Nope.
Okay, I think we're good. Until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.
Bye.